April 15, 2019. IRS agents surround a luxury penthouse in Miami. They're looking for Rashia Wilson. She's 35 years old, lives in a $2 million apartment. But according to government records, she doesn't exist. No tax returns filed, no income reported, no job history. Yet she's spent over $3 million in the past decade. The agents break down the door. Inside, they find laptops filled with stolen identities, over 7,000 names, social security numbers, birth dates. Rashia didn't avoid paying taxes. She stole them, filed fake returns using other people's identities, collected their refunds. For 12 years straight, made millions, while the IRS couldn't find her. How did one woman steal tax refunds from 7,000 Americans without getting caught? Why did it take 12 years to stop her? And why did she post everything on Facebook the entire time? Let's start with how she actually pulled this off. 2006, Florida. Rashia Wilson is 22 years old, working minimum wage, drowning in debt. A friend tells her about a scheme. You can file fake tax returns and get money from the IRS. They will never trace you. The method is simple. Steal someone's identity, name, social security number, birthday, file a fake tax return claiming they're owed a refund. IRS processes it automatically, sends the money. By the time the real person files months later, money's gone. Rashia tries it once. Gets a stolen identity, belongs to an elderly woman in Ohio. Goes online, uses free tax software, claims the woman is owed $4,000, submits it. 2 weeks later, $4,000 appears in a bank account she opened with fake documents. It worked. Here's the key to understanding how she scaled this. The IRS processes over 150 million tax returns every year. They can't check them all manually. System designed for speed, not security. Returns approved automatically by computers. If information looks correct, name matches social security number, income seems reasonable, refund approved instantly. No human reviews it. They only catch fraud when the real person files months later. Rashia realizes this is the weakness. She starts buying stolen identities online from hackers. Costs $20 per identity. Each generates $3,000 to $8,000 in fake refunds. She files hundreds of fake returns in 2007. Uses different computers at internet cafes so IPs can't be traced. Refunds deposited into dozens of bank accounts opened with fake IDs. Uses prepaid cards bought with cash. IRS processes every return. Sends refunds everywhere she controls. By end of 2007, she's stolen $500,000, $500,000 in 4 months. By 2008, she perfects the system. Claims incomes between $25,000 and $45,000. Uses real company tax IDs stolen from data breaches. Varies every return. Some claim childcare credits, some education credits. Makes each unique so patterns don't emerge. By 2009, she's making over $1 million yearly, buys a Mercedes, pays $75,000 cash, walks into a dealership with a duffel bag of hundreds, rents luxury apartment, $4,000 monthly, never report income. The government thinks she's unemployed and broke. Now here's why it took 12 years to stop her. The IRS was hemorrhaging money from fraud nationwide. In 2010, they identified $5.2 billion in fraudulent refunds paid, but internal estimates suggested they only caught half, meaning $10 billion actually stolen that year. 2011 was worse. $7 billion identified, probably $14 billion stolen. The system is completely overwhelmed. By the time they realized a return was fake, money was gone. Limited staff, thousands of cases, not enough investigators. Each investigation took months or years. They were losing billions annually and couldn't keep up. Rashia was just one of thousands of fraudsters across the country. She wasn't a priority because they didn't even know she existed. But Rashia made one critical mistake that changed everything. She couldn't resist bragging. I started posting on Facebook photos of her Mercedes at luxury hotels. Caption, "Thank you IRS for my new car." She changed her Facebook name to Rashia Tax Refund Wilson, publicly identified as a tax fraudster. Why would someone committing major crimes advertise it publicly? Psychology. She came from poverty, minimum wage, debt, eviction notices. Now she's a millionaire. The money means nothing. if nobody knows about it. She needs recognition, validation, proof she made it. She calls herself Queen of Tax Fraud. Posts like "Tax season is my favorite season," and "IRS money spent well," and "Thank you taxpayers for my lifestyle." Posts completely public. Anyone can see them. But the IRS didn't monitor social media in 2010. No system to identify fraudsters online, so she keeps posting. By 2010, she expanded operations, recruits friends, teaches them the system, how to buy identities, file fake returns, set up accounts. They work like a criminal enterprise. Each files hundreds of returns, split profits, Rashia takes a cut. Crew files thousands each season, IRS sends millions. Money flows faster than she can spend it. Buys second apartment in Miami, $3,500 monthly. Leases Maserati, Range Rover, BMW, 3 luxury cars under fake names, $10,000 Rolex, $5,000 Gucci bags, $100,000 worth of designer clothes, LA and New York shopping trips, $1,000 per night hotels, $5,000 champagne bottles. Lives like a millionaire celebrity. Facebook becomes more outrageous. Photos holding $50,000 in hundreds on her bed. Captions, "IRS came through again," and "Tax refund season, baby." Videos throwing money in the air. Dancing in designer clothes by her Mercedes. Profile documents every crime, every purchase, every trip, every stack of cash. Posted for the world. Hundreds of Facebook friends comment, congratulate her, ask how to join. Posts get shared publicly, but nobody reports it. The IRS remains unaware Rashia exists. Meanwhile, fraud becomes a national crisis. The IRS is losing over $10 billion annually. They know fraud is exploding, but they can't identify individual fraudsters efficiently. The system processes returns too fast. Criminals disappear too quickly. Then in 2012, they finally caught a break. Tampa resident Marcus Johnson filed his legitimate return in April. Gets rejected. IRS says he already filed in January, but he didn't. Someone stole his identity. Marcus furious. Call a fraud hotline. Files complaint. Demands investigation. Won't let it go. Keep calling. Keep pushing. IRS criminal investigation takes his case. They trace the fraudulent return to a Tampa credit union account, opened 3 months earlier with fake ID. They subpoena the credit union. Request all accounts receiving IRS refunds. Get records for 200 accounts. Start analyzing. Find a pattern. Dozens opened within weeks. Similar fake IDs. Multiple IRS refunds. Money withdrawn immediately. Addresses in the same Tampa neighborhoods. This is the moment everything starts unraveling. Investigators cross-reference addresses. Many list the same apartment buildings, same P.O. boxes. They start surveillance, set up outside buildings, watch for people picking up mail, collecting prepaid cards, photograph everyone. Rashia Wilson, connected to 6 addresses under investigation, linked to 9 bank accounts, appears in surveillance at 4 locations picking up mail and cards. Investigators pull everything on her. Criminal background, credit report, property records. Then they check social media. Find her Facebook. Cannot believe what they're seeing. She's been publicly bragging for years, photos with cash, calling herself Rashia Tax Refund Wilson, mocking IRS. Admitting crimes in public posts, visible to everyone. One investigator later testifies, "Easiest case I ever worked. She documented everything herself and posted it online." February 9th, 2013, 6 a.m. IRS agents execute search warrants at 8 Tampa locations simultaneously. Rashia's apartment, boyfriend's house, 5 crew addresses. They storm Rashia's apartment, guns drawn, find her in bed, handcuff her. She's wearing a $10,000 Rolex. Silk sheets everywhere. They seize laptops, computers, hard drives, phones. Find files with thousands of stolen identities, spreadsheets with names, social security numbers, birth dates, tax info on 7,000 people, records tracking every fake return filed, which account received which refund, bank statements showing $11 million in IRS deposits over 7 years, evidence of luxury purchases, jewelry receipts, vacation bookings, everything needed for an airtight case, arrested on the spot, federal detention, charged with wire fraud, identity theft, government fund theft. Indictment lists everything. Filed 7,042 fraudulent returns. Stole 7,000 identities. Received $11.2 million fraudulent refunds. Evidence overwhelming. Computer files, bank records, Facebook posts documenting everything. Crew member testimonies. Facing 30 years in prison, judge sets $150,000 bail. The family scrapes money together somehow. She's released with a GPS ankle monitor. Strict conditions, no computers, no internet, no filing returns, weekly check-ins with pretrial services. She signs all the paperwork, promises to comply with every condition, then immediately goes back to committing the exact same fraud. 2 weeks after release, she's using her boyfriend's computer, filing fake returns, cannot help herself. She files for 2 more months, steals another $200,000 while on bail for the same crime. Gets caught when a fake return gets flagged by new IRS security systems. They trace it to her boyfriend's IP address. Agents raid the house, find her sitting at the computer actively filing fraudulent returns. Bail was immediately revoked, sent straight to jail. No bail this time, no second chances. Prosecutors are absolutely furious. Present new evidence to the judge. She committed extensive fraud while on bail, while under GPS monitoring, while explicitly prohibited from touching computers. Judge shocked by complete lack of remorse or respect for the legal system. October 15, 2013, federal court sentencing hearing. Rashia pleads guilty to all charges. Defense lawyers beg for leniency, argue she's young, I made mistakes, I came from poverty, didn't understand the severity of her actions. The judge isn't buying any of it. Prosecutors present the full scope. 7,000 victims whose identities were stolen. Their refunds were stolen while serving their country. $11 million stolen from taxpayers. 7 years of systematic fraud. Public bragging and mocking on social media. Absolutely zero remorse shown. Continued committing crimes even after arrest. Judge delivers sentence, 21 years in federal prison. One of the longest sentences ever given for tax fraud in U.S. history. The courtroom gasps. Rashia shows no emotion, just stares straight ahead blankly. Judge explains his reasoning. You showed complete disregard for the law and for your victims. You continued committing the same crimes even after your arrest. You stole from thousands of hardworking Americans. This sentence reflects the extreme severity of your crimes and sends a clear message to others who might consider similar fraud. But the investigation doesn't end with Rashia's sentencing. Federal agents keep digging deeper, following every money trail. They discover her operation was connected to a much larger national criminal network. Rashia was buying stolen identities from professional hackers and identity thieves. These criminals were breaking into company databases, stealing employee records, customer information, tax documents from major corporations, then selling complete stolen identities to tax fraudsters like Rashia for $20 to $50 each. Investigation traces back to the source, leads to arrests across multiple states. Over the next 2 years, federal agents make 43 arrests across 7 different states. Total amount of stolen refunds traced back to this criminal network, over $200 million. Rashia Wilson was just one operator in one city within a massive organized criminal enterprise spanning the entire country. The IRS implements major security changes after Rashia's case becomes public and embarrassing. New measures rolled out nationwide. They start delaying processing of early season refunds to allow time for proper verification. Require additional identity verification steps for any return claiming large refunds or suspicious patterns. Create sophisticated computer algorithms that flag unusual filing behaviors and patterns. Start sharing data in real time with state tax agencies to catch fraud faster across different jurisdictions. By 2015, the changes are clearly working. Fraudulent refunds drop by over 50% compared to previous years. System isn't perfect, but significantly better. However, identity theft tax fraud hasn't disappeared, just evolved. Criminals use more sophisticated methods now. The IRS estimates billions still stolen yearly through various fraud schemes. Rashia Wilson remains in federal prison today serving her 21-year sentence. She's currently 41 years old, won't be eligible for release until 2032. She'll be 49 when she gets out. Her case became legendary in law enforcement, used as a training example of how criminals destroy themselves through social media and inability to stay quiet. The IRS now has dedicated teams actively monitoring social media platforms for people bragging about tax fraud. They search for unexplained wealth, luxury purchases, cash displays. Use those posts as evidence in investigations, all because Rashia couldn't resist posting. She outsmarted the IRS for 12 years by exploiting one simple weakness: trust. Sometimes the biggest threat to criminals isn't law enforcement, it's their own ego. Subscribe for more true crime stories that prove reality is stranger than fiction.